Hello. In this video, I will summarize the full plot of It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover from beginning to end. In this video, I am going to tell the full story of It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, from the beginning all the way through the ending, with spoilers included, and I'll do it in a way that makes sense even if you've never opened the book. The novel centers on Lily Bloom, a young woman who steps into adulthood carrying a complicated emotional inheritance. She grew up watching her father hurt her mother, and that history trained her to associate love with conflict, apology, and endurance, even though she desperately wants a different life. After her father dies, Lily leaves Maine for Boston with a clear personal mission: build something that belongs to her, something that is hers by choice rather than by survival. And the dream she clings to is opening a flower shop. Early in this new chapter, she has a chance encounter on a rooftop with Ryle Kincaid, a charismatic, driven neurosurgeon who is used to getting what he wants and who speaks with the kind of blunt confidence that can feel both thrilling and disarming. Ryle initially presents himself as someone who avoids emotional commitment. He frames relationships like distractions, as if intimacy is incompatible with ambition, and he tries to keep their connection in the realm of chemistry and possibility rather than a promise. But Lily isn't just any passing flirtation for him. The more they talk and the more time they spend around each other, the more Ryle's no relationships rule starts to bend. And Lily, who is hungry for stability but also wary of repeating her mother's life, lets herself believe that maybe she has found a partner whose intensity will translate into loyalty and safety instead of danger. While Lily's present life builds momentum, her past keeps surfacing in parallel, especially through the private writing she did as a teenager when she poured her thoughts into journal-like entries addressed to a celebrity as a way to make her pain feel speakable. Those memories return Lily to the summer she met Atlas Corrigan, a boy around her age who was essentially abandoned by the adults who should have protected him. Atlas had escaped a violent home and was living in desperate conditions, and Lily, lonely in her own way, trapped in a house where fear had become routine, noticed him, fed him, talked to him, and offered him an unusual gift: consistent kindness with no price attached. Their bond grew into a first love that wasn't flashy but was profound. The kind of connection that imprints itself on a person's understanding of what tenderness can feel like. Atlas becomes Lily's private proof that love can exist without cruelty, even as Lily's family life keeps telling her the opposite. Eventually, circumstances push them apart, and Lily carries Atlas forward not as a current partner, but as a benchmark of what she once felt and what she suspects she deserves. In Boston, Lily's flower shop dream moves from fantasy to reality. And a crucial figure in that progress is Alyssa, a warm, open-hearted woman who becomes Lily's friend and champion, offering practical help and emotional steadiness when Lily needs both. Lily later learns Alyssa is Ryle's sister, and that discovery deepens the sense that Lily isn't just dating a man. She is being folded into an entire life structure: family, social ties, a future that looks legitimate and grounded. Ryle's devotion to Lily intensifies as well. He becomes protective, attentive, and at times almost reverent about her. And Lily, who has always wanted to be chosen without having to beg for gentleness, is pulled into the gravity of his certainty. Their relationship grows serious quickly, and in that seriousness, Lily feels both hope and pressure. Hope, because she can picture a stable life. Pressure, because stability can sometimes be another word for "don't ruin this." Over time, though, the intensity that first read as passion begins to show a controlling edge. Ryle has a temper he keeps tightly leashed until something snaps it. And when it snaps, the results are frightening. The first time he hurts Lily, it lands like a shockwave because it doesn't fit the romantic narrative Lily has been building in her head. It forces her to look straight at the possibility that she has stepped into the beginning of a pattern she recognizes too well. Ryle's reaction afterward is immediate remorse. He is horrified, apologetic, pleading, and determined to reframe the moment as an outlier that does not define him. He explains, he promises, he insists that he would never truly want to harm her. And Lily, trapped between memory and desire, tries to make room for his explanation because doing so protects the life she wants to keep. She tells herself what so many people in her mother's position told themselves: It happened once. It won't happen again. He's under stress. He's not like the man she grew up fearing, and besides, he loves her. This is where the story's core conflict sharpens. Lily is not naive. She has lived around violence. Yet precisely because she has lived around it, she understands how slippery the slope can be from one exception to a cycle that repeats. As the relationship continues, Lily experiences the whiplash that defines abusive dynamics. Periods where Ryle is loving, attentive, even gentle, followed by moments when jealousy, insecurity, or anger overwhelm his self-control. Ryle's possessiveness becomes more visible, and his fear of losing Lily can present as suspicion or dominance rather than honest vulnerability. Lily starts walking on invisible eggshells without wanting to admit she's doing it. Because admitting it would mean admitting her life is starting to resemble her mother's. Her friendship with Allysa complicates everything further, because Allysa is good to her, and Lily can see the version of Ryle that his family knows. The brother, the dependable professional, the man people admire. And that social proof makes Lily question her own reality, as if her fear is something she must be misreading. Meanwhile, Lily's mother, shaped by years of staying, becomes both a warning and a mirror. Lily knows her mother's story intimately, knows the way love and harm can become knotted together in a person's mind, knows the years a person can lose trying to believe apologies are the same thing as change. Then, Atlas reappears in Lily's adult world in a way that feels almost impossible, as if the past is demanding to be accounted for. Lily encounters him again and sees that he has built a stable life. He is no longer the boy she rescued, but a man who has rescued himself. Atlas's presence in the narrative is not simply romantic competition, it's contrast. With Atlas, Lily experiences a tension that does not tighten into control, care that does not come with fear, and concern that doesn't ask her to shrink. Lily does not set out to betray Ryle or to rekindle an old relationship immediately, and she is aware that simply speaking to Atlas could inflame Ryle's already volatile jealousy. Still, Atlas becomes a living reminder that Lily once knew what it felt like to be safe with someone, and that reminder makes Lily's tolerance for Ryle's behavior harder to maintain. Predictably, Ryle becomes more threatened as Atlas's significance becomes clearer. It isn't just that Lily has a past, it's that the past includes a man who represents a kind of love Ryle cannot control, and Ryle's insecurity transforms into rage. The violence escalates, and Lily's internal defenses, minimizing, rationalizing, hoping, start to crack under the weight of repeated harm. She begins to understand something brutal. Ryle can truly love her and still be dangerous to her. Those two truths can coexist, and that coexistence is what makes leaving so difficult. Ryle repeatedly insists he will change, that he will seek help, that he hates himself for what he's done. And Lily wants to believe him, because believing him is the only way to keep her dream of a happy marriage intact. At the same time, Lily's body and mind store the reality of what keeps happening, and each new incident strips away another layer of denial. The social pressure around Lily also intensifies. Ryle's family connections, Lily's closeness with Allysa, the sense of being woven into a shared life, all of it creates an emotional cost to leaving that goes beyond heartbreak. Lily worries about being judged, about being disbelieved, about being blamed for provoking anger, and about becoming the person who destroyed a marriage. She also worries that leaving will mean she is admitting her mother was right about how hard it is to escape these patterns, that she is not as different from her mother as she hoped. The story pivots again when Lily becomes pregnant, because pregnancy transforms the problem from a private endurance test into a generational decision. Lily is forced to ask herself not only what she can survive, but what she would be teaching a child to accept. She knows what it did to her to grow up watching her mother stay. She knows the confusion of loving a parent who causes harm. She knows the lifelong work required to untangle the belief that pain is a normal ingredient in love. That knowledge becomes a kind of moral clarity. When another violent episode occurs, Lily finally stops framing the situation as a series of isolated mistakes and starts seeing it as a cycle with a predictable pattern. A trigger, an explosion, injury, remorse, promises, a calm period, and then repetition. She recognizes that the calm periods are not proof the cycle has ended. They are simply the quiet part of the cycle. At this stage, Lily chooses separation, not in a clean, cinematic way, but in the messy, terrifying way that real people leave, with grief, doubt, fear, and the constant temptation to go back, because going back is familiar. Atlas offers support in a manner that matters. He does not demand Lily choose him, he does not use her vulnerability as leverage, and he provides a steadiness that helps Lily remember she is allowed to prioritize safety without apologizing for it. Lily's most important decision, however, is not choosing Atlas. It is choosing herself and her child. After Lily gives birth, the climax becomes a confrontation between competing truths. Ryle can be tender with the baby. He can look like the loving father he might become. He can cry and plead and talk about regret. Lily can feel empathy for him, even while she is afraid of him, and the story insists on that complexity. Villains are not always monsters, and that is precisely why cycles persist. Lily then makes the defining choice of the novel. She imagines her daughter growing up and learning, one day, that her father hurt her mother, and she refuses to normalize that reality for her child. She refuses to raise a girl who might learn to excuse harm because it comes wrapped in love. With that in mind, Lily pushes forward with divorce. She recognizes that remorse is not the same as accountability, and that love is not a permission slip for violence. This is the moment Lily breaks away from her mother's pattern, not because her mother didn't want to love Lily, but because her mother's staying taught Lily how easily a person can trade their future for hope. Lily's decision is not framed as simple triumph. It is painful because she is also grieving the relationship she wanted Ryle to be capable of. Still, she holds her boundary. Ryle can remain connected to his child through co-parenting, but Lily draws a line between fatherhood and marriage. The romantic relationship ends because Lily will not keep her life structured around the risk of harm. The story closes with Lily stepping into a future that is still uncertain, but clearer in principle. Over time, she becomes more open to reconnecting with Atlas from a healthier place. Not as a rescue fantasy, but as a realistic possibility built on steadiness and respect. The ending lands on the meaning of the title. Lily chooses to stop the pattern at her, to end the inheritance of violence, and to redefine love as something that does not require fear, damage, or endurance as proof.